Okay, writers, today we're on session 4. And before we get started, what I want you to do is I want you to think about all the things you have to do during the week once you get home from school. Think about all the things you have to do during the week. I'm just going to give you a minute to do that. And so I made my list here for you. So of course, I have to go to school, plan lessons, feed the dog, wash the clothes, clean the kitchen, cook dinner, pay bills, walk the dog, get materials for my kids ready. And so you'll notice there's a lot of things that I have to do. And it kind of, if I kept listing all those things, it would probably get pretty boring pretty quickly, right? And so I want you to think about this with informational writing. What if the author of your story just hit you with fact after fact after fact after fact? So today I want to teach you that in information writing, perhaps more than any other genre, specifics matter. So expert writers know that it's not enough to write dogs eat a lot. But instead, they write things like large dogs usually eat a cup and a half of kibble twice a day. Smaller dogs eat far less, perhaps only maybe a cup twice a day. So they're being much more specific. They don't just say dogs eat a lot. If you said a lot of facts like that, it'd get boring. But instead, you're writing more specific facts. So I kind of want to show you what I'm talking about here. We're about to look at the top of the world, climbing Mount Everest. And we're going to look at some of these techniques. So here's some techniques on ways I can elaborate my informational book. I can give examples. I can give facts, quotes, statistics, observations, and descriptions. So we're just going to start with that list. And I'm going to go to the book here, The Top of the World. Oops. Make it all the way. And let's go. Okay. The Roof of the World. Rising between India and China, the Himalayas are the highest mountain range on Earth. More than 1,500 miles long, the range includes many of the world's tallest peaks. The highest of them all, Mount Everest, stands on the border of Nepal and Tibet. Its summit is 29,028 feet above sea level. Nepal, a small country that borders India, is home of the Sherpa people. Tibet is an ancient country that is now part of China. People in Nepal and Tibet think of Mount Everest as a holy place full of power and mystery. So let's go back and look at our ways that we can elaborate. Did they give you examples? They did, right? There were some examples of the different people. What about facts? You got to know how high Mount Everest was, how high the mountain range was, some statistics. What about some observations? We didn't really have a lot of observations in there, but we did have some descriptions. I think if we went back, go to the next page. Oh, the continental drift. The Earth's continents are always moving, drifting slowly apart or together. 100 million years ago, an ocean separated what is now India from the rest of Asia. About 40 million years ago, India plowed into the Asian continent. The collision is still going on. India is moving north at about 2.5 inches a year, pushing up the Himalayan mountains as it goes. So there's some more facts. Still no observations. I mean, I guess that could be an observation. But if you could look through, it gives you the greatest climber, packing for the trip. So there's lots of different things in there. Back to this. Okay. So you can see some of the techniques that Mr. Jenkins did here with his book, some of the techniques that made it more interesting. He didn't just simply state facts one after another, after another, after another. He gave more information. So today, what I want you to do is I want you to think about your next chapter. And I want you to be mindful to incorporate the balance that we talked about, to use some of the techniques we discussed. So give some more examples. Give facts, maybe a quote from somebody, some statistics, something you observe, or a description. Include that in your writing so that you have a more balanced writing of nonfiction.